Welcome to Zenith Global News, your trusted window to the world. From across the world, these are today's top stories you need to know.
1.
U.S. imposes naval blockade as Trump demands Iran end nuclear program.
2.
Lambasting Pope Leo, Trump risks alienating conservative Catholics. 3. Britain is ready to admit it has an America problem.
4.
The Messiah meme backlash, a digital and religious explosion.
5.
White House says it's boosting affordability through physician reforms.
6.
What are the symptoms of monkeypox or Mpox that is declared as a global health emergency? Now, let's dive into the details of today's biggest stories.
U.S. imposes naval blockade as Trump demands Iran end nuclear program. Peace talks broke down over Iran's nuclear program, which has survived 2 decades of international diplomacy seeking to curtail it and more than 5 weeks of bombing. Following a grueling 21-hour negotiation in Pakistan that ended in a stalemate, Trump has pivoted to a chokehold strategy to force Tehran's hand on its nuclear program. In a viral Truth Social post, Trump warned that any Iranian fast attack ships approaching the blockade would be immediately eliminated using the same brutal tactics used against drug runners. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed the talks collapsed because Iran refused to surrender its nuclear dust, specifically its 60% enriched uranium. Trump's new demand is a Tiffany deal, or total economic isolation. As the U.S. Navy begins boarding ships, oil prices have already blasted past $100 a barrel, with gas prices surging globally. While the U.S. claims it doesn't need the Strait of Hormuz, the rest of the world is bracing for a massive supply shock. Iran has labeled the blockade piracy and issued a chilling warning: if their ports aren't safe, no port in the Persian Gulf will be. This isn't just diplomacy, it's a military-grade economic squeeze that has the world wondering if the current ceasefire will hold, or if we are hours away from a kinetic explosion in the Gulf. Lambasting Pope Leo, Trump risks alienating conservative Catholics. Veteran church observers say an open war of words between a pope and a U.S. president is unprecedented. Diplomatic rupture as President Trump enters a high-stakes war of words with Pope Leo. This direct confrontation shatters the traditional decorum usually maintained between the White House and the Holy See, marking a rare and explosive church versus state collision that has sent shockwaves through the global political landscape. By publicly lambasting the pontiff, the administration is navigating a spiritual minefield. This isn't just a minor policy disagreement. It is a fundamental clash between America First nationalism and the moral authority of the Vatican. Trump's willingness to challenge the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics suggests that no global institution is immune to his brand of direct, unfiltered rhetoric. Politically, the move is a massive gamble. The Catholic vote is a powerhouse demographic in American elections, and a prolonged feud could alienate a crucial segment of the president's base. This standoff forces millions of people to balance their political loyalty against their religious devotion, creating a deep internal tension within the electorate. Ultimately, this development turns a theological divide into a front-page power struggle. As the ultimate secular power and the world's highest moral authority head toward this unprecedented standoff, the result could redefine the intersection of faith, power, and international diplomacy for years to come. Britain is ready to admit it has an America problem. Washington's unquestioned leadership of the West's post-war alliance system is dissolving. Tectonic shift in global geopolitics as Britain begins to prepare for a post-American future. Following decades of the special relationship serving as the bedrock of British foreign policy, London is now facing the stark reality that the United States may no longer be a reliable or consistent partner, forcing a radical strategic pivot toward Europe and self-reliance.
The narrative suggests that the traditional reliance on the U.S. security umbrella and economic alignment is fraying. Driven by shifting political winds in Washington and an increasingly inward-looking America First posture, British officials are reportedly reconsidering their defense and trade dependencies. This move signifies a pragmatic realization that Britain can no longer afford to wait and see regarding American stability. The spicy core of the analysis lies in the irony of the post-Brexit era. Having left the European Union to forge a global Britain, the UK is now being pushed back into closer security and economic cooperation with its European neighbours to hedge against American unpredictability. Ultimately, the piece frames this as a moment of painful transition. Britain is navigating a world where the old certainties of the Atlantic Alliance are dissolving, requiring the UK to forge a new identity that balances its historical ties with a cold, calculated necessity to survive in an era of waning US hegemony. Trump post appearing to depict him as Jesus removed amid backlash. Before the post was deleted, evangelical and Catholic allies called the image blasphemous in a rare public break from a base that has largely stood by Trump. The political world is reeling after a post appearing to depict Donald Trump as a Jesus-like figure was scrubbed from social media following a massive public and clerical outcry. This isn't just a standard moderation dispute, it is a direct collision between political iconography and religious tradition that has triggered a fierce debate over sacrilege versus political expression. The post reportedly featured a hyper-stylized image that blurred the lines between the former president and traditional messianic imagery. While intended by supporters to symbolize endurance and persecution, it was met with immediate condemnation from diverse religious groups who labeled the comparison as. The decision to pull the content has ignited a secondary firestorm. Supporters are decrying the move as anti-Christian censorship and an attack on their candidate's symbolic identity, while critics argue the removal was a necessary boundary to prevent the weaponization of religious symbols for political gain. This development puts the administration in a delicate position with its core evangelical and conservative base. By leaning into messianic themes, the campaign risks alienating traditionalists who view such comparisons as a bridge too far, even as it galvanizes those who see the president as a chosen figure. White House says it's boosting affordability through physician reforms. The core of the administration's argument, outlined in the 2026 economic report of the president, is that the U.S. healthcare system isn't just expensive, it's inefficient. By unleashing competition and cutting down on bureaucratic hurdles, they claim they can lower costs without massive government spending. The centerpiece is a massive funding program aimed at ending medical deserts. The goal is to incentivize thousands of new physicians to practice in remote areas, theoretically lowering costs for rural families who currently face high travel and emergency expenses. In a move that has gained rare bipartisan support, the White House is pushing to equalize payments for the same procedure regardless of whether it happens in a massive hospital or a small doctor's office. Currently, hospitals can charge significantly more for the same service. Ending this payment distortion is aimed at keeping independent practices alive and lowering patient co-pays. While the administration touts these as "Make America Healthy Again" wins, critics warn of a darker flip side. Analysts point out that while these physician reforms may save $50 billion over a decade, they are being introduced alongside the expiration of enhanced ACA tax credits. For millions of Americans, the affordability gained from doctor reforms might be wiped out by skyrocketing monthly premiums. The White House is essentially pivoting from coverage to cost of delivery. By focusing on the doctor-patient experience, they are attempting to solve a looming fiscal crisis with healthcare spending projected to consume 20% of the U.S. economy by 2033, one administrative fix at a time. What are the symptoms of monkeypox or Mpox that WHO has declared as a global health emergency? The World Health Organization has declared monkeypox a public health emergency of international concern, the highest level of global alert. While no official cases have been reported in India, the government is taking proactive steps to prevent an outbreak by tightening surveillance at borders and airports. The transmission of monkeypox requires close, continuous and intimate contact, making it less contagious than other viral diseases and even coronavirus. Dr. Tanu Singhal, Senior Doctor of Pediatrics and Infectious Disease at Kokilaband Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital told The Telegraph Online. She emphasized the importance of containment strategies like contact tracing and isolation to prevent the spread of the infection.
If you value real, balanced reporting from across the globe, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss the stories that matter. Stay informed, stay aware, stay ahead. We'll see you in the next update, only on Zenith Global News.